Hello and welcome back to another Vlogmas podcast. My name is Kimberly Simpson and today I will be sharing 30 hobbies for cold weather. And if you haven't already, click like and the subscribe button. Leave a comment below if you find something that resonates with you. And I'm sure there's something here on this list for everyone, and I mean everyone. So sit back and grab a nice warm drink. I'm having ginger tea because I'm actually not too sure if I'm coming down with a cold. So I need to get myself ready and in gear for a possible rocky Christmas week. And I want to make sure that I'm able to, if I go anywhere, I want to be able to enjoy myself. So we'll see how these next few days turn out. But here is number 1 for 30 hobbies for cold weather. Number 1, you can get summer body ready. And this is something that will never go out of style. And this is something that you can work on all year long, but more specifically in the winter where, it's quite rigid outside and you just want to be warm. I find that going to the gym and getting a really good workout in is really helpful in terms of my goals, but also it's kind of turned into a hobby for me. So that is a really good way to stay fit and to keep enjoying the gym and everything that it has to offer, and find a way to gamify this. So for example, you can sign up for some sort of a fitness challenge at your local gym or see what is happening throughout your city. Next up, earlier this year, I took up baking and cooking in terms of my heritage. So I learned quite a bit about Scottish and Jamaican baking and cooking, and that has actually turned into one of my favorite pastimes. This is something that I never expected that would ever happen to me, but I really love to bake and cook these days. So that's a new hobby for me, and I will never be bored. Number 3, establishing a new routine. This is more than a hobby. This is something that proves to yourself that you have, self-respect and you can stick to your commitments and your promises to yourself. By creating a new routine, you'll be able to fit in things throughout your day that you never believed possible. You'll be able to achieve goals that you never thought was possible. All you needed to do was to find some extra time in your day, wake up a half an hour extra early, 45 minutes or an hour, and be able to mark these off of your list. So I find that giving myself new goals and attaching a new routine to it and sticking to that has turned into more of a hobby where I'm able to determine what works best for me, and I've been able to gamify routines and my personal development. Number 4, sourdough bread and butter expert. This is something that I started a few years ago. Living up north where I was, I had to find other things to enjoy. And coming home from my pandemic work, I found that, I was starting to jump on the bandwagon of sourdough bread making and butter. But you know what? This is more of a lifestyle. And I learned quite quickly that butter, it can actually be really easy to make and fun to make as well, especially if you're infusing different flavors in there. Oh my gosh, you will have so much fun making butter and bread. Number 5, signing up for a new online class. And this is something that I have been doing since I could remember, and I've always had something on the go, and being able to either get a certificate afterwards or a course completion certificate, I feel like it's such a fulfilling feeling. And being able to feel like you've been able to complete something, that is such a great feeling to have. And I would recommend finding an online class, and that is for another reason why it is on the top 5 of my 2030 hobbies for cold weather. Number 6, a New Year's resolution intensive. This is something that I have been doing over the past few weeks, because this is definitely not something that I would like to be doing sitting on New Year's Eve or even New Year's Day. I would prefer to have this done and on paper prior to that, so that I can actually enjoy my New Year's and create new traditions. So creating New Year's resolutions and filling out your goals, seeing what worked this year, and how can you rework everything. I think that that's such a great goal in terms of a hobby for cold weather. Next up, and this is number 7, finding a new language to learn. And this is something that can take you so many places in life. Being able to speak another language, not just for a job or for personal use, but for also to be able to connect and be able to travel and experience the cultures with more depth. I think it's such a cool thing to have. Number 8, establishing a beauty routine. And I love my beauty routines, and I'm actually finding new things to add in to help me to stay on top of my beauty regimen, my time that I'm able to put into this, and everything that I enjoy doing. So that is number 8, establishing or reworking a beauty routine. Number 9, hawking or working with birds. This is something that I absolutely fell in love with in elementary school. We would go up for trips at places like Algonquin Park, and we would, learn about the birds. And I believe that it is so important to be able to connect with nature, and you can either do hawking, or number 16 is actually bird watching. With hawking, you're able to connect with birds and help them to hunt, and I think that it's such a cool thing to do. Next up, number 10, I have wine learning. This is something that I've been doing for years, and I have many books about them, and being able to express yourself and to learn about wine and to learn about the different things that come along with winemaking. I think that it's such a luxurious and elegant hobby for the whole year, but also for cold weather. Number 11, on my list of 30 hobbies for cold weather, I have comedy. Now, this is something that I learned that I have a serious interest in that, sometimes I'm not always trying to be funny, but it just so happens that way. But being able to laugh is such a blessing, and being able to make others laugh, that's even more of a gift. Next up, number 12, become a connoisseur. This can be tea, wine, herbs, coffee, or even beer. And being able to explain different terminology and be able to enjoy these things on a different level. Number 13, a book club. This can be online, in person, at a school, or at a workplace. Commit to a book. Committing to a book is like committing to yourself. And being able to snuggle up with a book at the end of the day, right before bed, is such a gift and a treasure that you can have in life, because sometimes peace is hard to come by, and being able to do that for yourself, it's such a treat. Number 14, clean jewelry, getting to know your jewelry. So this is something that I came to really enjoy after working at a jeweler's called DC Tailors, and they taught me pretty much everything that I know about taking care of my precious metals and my jewels. And honestly, I love learning about jewelry and different minerals that come from the earth and how it became the jewelry that I wear today, as well as building tradition and learning about antiques, as well as things that I'd want to start thinking about to pass on for future generations. So that is 14 on my 30 hobbies for cold weather. Number 15, become a historian in theater, ballet, the arts, or even your genealogy. Being able to express where you've come from or the interests that you have, being able to really understand where everything comes from, as well as the major players. And I think that will help you to understand where you've come from, as well as where you're planning on going and where you are in the present tense within the world. So that is another hobby for cold weather, but it's more of like I would call an old world kind of understanding of the self. But I think that it doubles as a hobby. Number 16 on my 30 hobbies for cold weather, bird watching. Now this is something that you can do throughout the entire year. You can get yourself a really great set of binoculars. I would highly suggest going to doing some antiquing and getting a pair of binoculars, but bird watching never goes out of style. I remember when I lived up north, I had a blue jay that would come and visit me almost every morning one winter, and it was the sweetest thing, and even a red robin. And I knew that it would take me tons of time to come to know the different birds that existed or flew around my part of the world. But if this is something that really is of interest to you, this would be a great hobby for cold weather. You can do it indoors, outdoors, you can go on nature walks, and I think it's such a beautiful thing. Number 17, ornament building. Now this is something that I was never able to do due to time constrictions and all the other hobbies that I had. But this is definitely something that I would recommend to really anyone who is interested in creating something to last generations. Number 18, find a winter festival. And this is something that I've always wanted to do, and being closer to the Quebec side, it's actually quite invigorating being able to be so close to some of the greatest winter festivals that Canada has to offer. And I know that there's the Winter Festival in Quebec City that happens every February. I would really recommend checking out a winter festival near you. Number 19, I should say, hockey. Being from the great country that I live in Canada, hockey is one of the staples of every household, well, at least when I grew up. And being able to ice skate is such an important thing. And, you know, I have a little sister. She loves figure skating and she does her lessons and everything. And now she can turn and do cool things. And I was never a hockey person and I was never a figure skater, but I still loved to skate. However, I think that for my list in terms of things that I would love to learn to do this winter, that would be skating backwards. My older brother, I remember being a kid and he would fly around the ice and I would get a little bit jealous in that, you know, I wasn't able to do that. Yes, he was older, but he was just fearless, you know, with his swimming and his hockey, and I was never quite at his level in terms of determination in sports. I veered more so into the arts, but being able to skate backwards is a really big dream and goal of mine. So maybe I'll make that happen this year. Number 20, maple syrup expert. Now this is something that I absolutely love and adore, especially being a Canadian. And I think that it's so special to be able to go and do some maple tapping throughout the year. Now maple season, I believe, is from February to April, so it's a little bit later on in the winter, but if you're able to have a chance to do that, I would strongly recommend being able to do maple tapping. And if you'd like to delve more deeper into the world of maple, becoming a maple expert is the next step. So I think that would be a really great hobby for cold weather. Number 21, skiing. I was able to learn how to cross-country ski, but I personally would not like to do any sort of downhill skiing. Now, I was never really good at sports. However, I would give it a try, downhill on a bunny hill. But if you're interested in, you know, invigorating kinds of sports and things that, you know, raise your blood pressure, I would highly recommend downhill skiing for a new hobby. And the great thing about this is that a lot of these ski slopes, they do lessons throughout the year, and this is definitely something that I would learn to do. Work on some of that balance in the gym, your core, stabilizer muscles, and I would really give it a try. Number 22, skating. Now this is a given, being up north, and I think that everyone should be able to go skating at least a few times a year. This is like a must that you should do. Number 23 on my list of 30 hobbies for cold weather, snowshoeing. Now this is something that I fell in love with when I was in British Columbia in Kelowna a few years ago. And I went out snowshoeing a few times in the mountains, and it was absolutely beautiful. And this is something that I would strongly recommend, especially as a family. I think that this is a beautiful thing that you could do where, you know, it's everyone in different age groups can also do this activity. Number 24, become a Christmas gift wrapping expert. And, you know, I always used to love wrapping gifts, but I would always do things last minute, so I just never had the time to make things look really pretty. But this is something that I would actually love to learn to do. And I think that this is something that you can also learn throughout the year for birthdays or different events, being able to wrap things in a beautiful way that lets people know that you really care for them and that you've been thinking about them. I think it's such a beautiful thing. Number 25, Christmas stained glass crafting. I think that this is such a cool idea. This is something that I came across on Pinterest, and this is definitely something that I would do, you know, if I had lots of time on my hands, and unfortunately I do not, so I wouldn't be able to get to another hobby, but this is definitely something that I would have on my list for the future. Number 26, and I think this goes with a lot of the other goals or hobbies that I had on this list, and this is a forestry walk. The great thing about this is that you can get in tune with nature. I remember seeing deer run about and different animals, but now being in the city, you know, I don't see as many things, but being out in the nature for a forestry walk is so beautiful. Number 27, Christmas greenery decor. This is something that I would definitely be doing, possibly in the November month, and getting things ready for hosting dinners or, you know, just making your place beautiful. This is definitely something that I would be looking into. Number 28, doing a book movie study. Now this is great in that you'll be able to read and see where the author is coming from in terms of their character development, their plot structure, and their motifs and themes that they use, and see how that correlates to a movie and show that was developed from the book, and how unique or how similar the two might be. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. Now, this is something that we did in high school or university, but I think that this is a fun activity to do for cold weather. Number 28, creating Christmas traditions. And I think that this is such a beautiful thing to do, especially if you have a family or with your siblings. I think that this is a great thing to explore. And for me, I've created so many New Year's resolution traditions, and I've kind of neglected Christmas a little bit, I think, because it just always gets so hectic around Christmas time that I don't have enough time to think about traditions. But this is something that I'll definitely be working on this year. Number 29, becoming a snowflake expert. Now this is something that I never thought of until quite recently. I decided to add this on this list, and to become a snowflake expert you would need a great pair of magnifying glasses as well as some binoculars, and do some research about different ways that the water crystallizes, and different formations, and the way that the light glimmers off of the snow, and how we end up with sparkly snow. I think that's such a cool winter hobby to have. And number 30 and final hobby for cold weather, taking part in a reindeer race. I found this on and I thought, this is amazing. I would love to be a part of a reindeer race. And honestly, if this existed, I would be signing up to make it some sort of vacation idea. And this was the top 30 hobbies for cold weather. And this is a Vlogmas